The leader of any nation always faces criticism from someone. The Tsar faced opposition from different illegal revolutionary parties. Under the reign of Alexander II, more people were educated, and with no censorship, they read widely and compared Russia with Western countries. They had been given a degree of freedom, which was brutally taken away under Alexander III. Problems of modernising Russia still remained, but were repressed by Alexander III's strong leadership. Under Nicholas II, the Great Spurt meant that more people moved to towns and came into contact with radical ideas and criticisms of the Tsar. The social and economic situation in Russia made these criticisms even louder, until they led to revolution. I just wanted to set the scene so that you understand the emergence of these groups and why they were angry. Now let's look at the groups. Dating back from the 1870s, the populist movement believed that the future of Russia lay in the hands of the peasants. These revolutionaries were middle and upper class who went into the countryside to educate the peasants regarding their role. They had little success in convincing the peasantry to become revolutionaries. The peasants were more concerned about their immediate problems of tax prices and food shortages. They did not want to get rid of the Tsar. Turning to desperate measures, these populists form a group in 1879 called the People's Will, with the intention of murdering the ruling classes so that the people could take their rightful place. The People's Will were responsible for the assassination of Alexander II, and the populist movement was weakened further by the repressive policies of Alexander III. All the continuing revolutionaries were influenced by the populist movement. Social revolutionaries stemmed from the populist movement. They believed that the people should rule Russia. 82% of the population were peasants. They were the majority. And with more people moving into towns, they concerned themselves with the working classes too. Started in 1901 and led by Viktor Chernov, the SRs believed in a revolution followed by peasant control of land. Within the social revolutionaries, there existed more radical members who felt that the Tsar needed to be assassinated so that the people could be free to rule. This wing was the more dominant side of the social revolutionaries. They were responsible for various assassinations of political figures, including the Tsar's uncle, and wanted a return to the ideals of the People's Will who assassinated Alexander II. This radical faction of the SRs would be known as Left SRs, and the more moderate members as Right SRs. The Right SRs believed that they should work with other parties to gain improvements for peasants and workers. In 1906, the social revolutionaries established the All-Russian Union of Peasants, which called for peasant ownership of land. The Social Democrats were established in 1898, and their aim was to have a revolution following the ideas of Karl Marx. For this to succeed, Russia's industrial base was vital. After all, you cannot create a workers' revolution without the majority of people being workers. George Plekhanov translated Marx's writings into Russian and established the Social Democrats. Very much like the SRs, the Social Democrats divided into factions. Some wanted a more immediate solution. The man who wanted this was called Vladimir Ulyanov, or better known as Lenin. In 1902, Lenin published What is to be Done, which attacked Plekhanov's approach. In 1903, the Social Democrats officially split. Lenin called his party the Bolsheviks, which means majority, while his opponents were known as the Mensheviks, or minority. The Mensheviks were responsible for setting up the St. Petersburg Soviet in 1905, with Trotsky as a key spokesperson. Lenin played a major part in the Moscow Rising, which was crushed by Tsarist forces. The main difference between the Mensheviks and the Bolsheviks was that the Bolsheviks wanted exclusive membership. They only wanted hardline revolutionaries to join, whereas the Mensheviks were inclusive and wanted more members to join. The Mensheviks also felt that a revolution could not yet be achieved because the majority were peasants and not workers. Russia needed to increase its workers to follow Marx. However, the Bolsheviks felt that a revolution could be forced anyway, and the whole process speeded up. The Liberal Party did not exist as an organised party prior to 1905, but they can be seen as simply wanting the Tsar to make reforms rather than a full-scale revolution. After the events of 1905, Liberals were divided into Octoberists, who accepted the October Manifesto as evidence of reform, and Cadets, who felt that the October Manifesto had not gone far enough to reform Russia. They also debated the electoral process in the new Duma.